Good morning. I'm glad that you could join us today. I invite you to bring into this time whatever's going on in your life and everything that's going on in our world. Bring it into this presence and power. All things can be worked together for good. So we join together in the knowledge that all things are possible. We join together with each other. We join together with churches everywhere, all denominations. We join together with people in synagogues and mosques and temples. We join together with all spiritual traditions. We come together with all of humanity and all of creation. We come together in an affirmation of oneness. An affirmation that we are all one. We are all one voice.
We are one voice, we are one light, a desert song, an eagle's flight, a kitten purrs and lightning whirls. We are one voice, we are one world. Across the land we all must strive to reach each heart, to stay alive. Let go of hate and lift its veil. The love we share must never fail. We are one voice, we are one light. Nature and man must now unite. Let's reach for love to end the strife. We are one world, we are one life. Inside we find a quiet place that gives us joy and gentle grace. Help save the earth and live in peace. The truth-filled dreams will never cease. Now is the time for us to come and treat each life on earth as one. Earth song, earth dance, let's all rejoice. We are one world, we are one voice. We are one world, we are one voice. All one voice.
See, I can edit this stuff out. We are all one. Oneness. We affirm that as an invocation many times. There's only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, absolute goodness. It's an affirmation of oneness, of unity. There's a traditional invocation in Judaism. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. Hear, everybody, God is oneness, and all is well. One presence, one power, absolute goodness. Absolute goodness. There's a tradition within unity, well, and a lot of traditions, to say it's all good. There's only good. There's only God. It's all good. Perfection is present. There is light in the darkness. There is darkness. There is division. There is polarity within the oneness. There is separation in our unity. Throughout history, humanity has seen that separation as a presence of evil, as an activity or energy opposed to the good. It's easy to think that when you see systemic injustice standing on the necks of the poor and the oppressed, because we can see things aren't quite right. There's anger and there's violence, the language of the unheard, that's called. There's persecution. Where's the goodness? It's all good. Goodness is present. God is present, and there's work to do. There's the mysterious tragedy of this pandemic, death and disease. There are disasters. How do we handle that? What do we do with that? Poverty, unemployment, starvation. There is imperfection everywhere. There are problems everywhere. There is an emptiness that underlies the appearance of plenty and abundance. There's two different sides to this. There's something missing. Many people have a personal experience of something missing, an emptiness within them, and they try to fill it with stuff or medicate themselves with behaviors or substances so they don't feel the emptiness, so they forget about the discomfort. In our culture, we're taught right from the beginning, seek first to fill your life with stuff, toys, material things. Seek first to get name and fame and recognition and acknowledgement. Seek first to get comfort, and then everything will be well within us. Everything will feel good inside. Well, that doesn't work. Sometimes it takes a while for us to realize that that doesn't work, to find happiness in outer things. Happiness. Happiness is the topic of the chapter that we are studying in Wayne Mueller's book, Sabbath. His point is happiness comes from the inside out. You can't create happiness by pouring stuff into ourselves. We need some basic survival needs met. Food, clothing, and shelter. It's hard to be happy if you're hungry or sick or cold. But once a certain basic level of survival is met, true happiness doesn't come from adding more stuff from the outside. One of my favorite Bible verses and one of Unity's favorite verses. Seek first the kingdom of God. Seek first the consciousness of the kingdom of heaven. And then everything else is going to fall into place. Establish that consciousness of a connection with God. And then we might know what to do. Then we have a sense of direction. Then we have a sense of strength that we could use to go forward. We can have a sense of well-being in spite of the difficulties in the world, in spite of injustice and divisions and disease. In our prayer for protection, we say that the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. There's a presence that watches over us. And there's a sense of assurance. There's a sense of, I suppose all is well. There's a sense of goodness, absolute goodness that is present. When we remember to connect with that presence, when we remember that we are held, enfolded, embraced, what we are, who we are, what we need is known. The presence of God watches over us. Not just watches, but empowers us. Consider that. Consider that as Thomas shares a classic gospel song about in that connection with God, we can find a sense of all is well. Okay.
Why should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadows come? Why should my heart be lonely and long for heaven and home, when Jesus is my portion, my constant friend is He. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. I sing because I sing because I'm free. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know, yes, I know, yes, I know, He watches
I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I know that there's a presence and power that's with me, that I am in the presence of pure being, that I have a sense of strength within me, that I have a sense of wisdom within my mind, so I know the direction that I take, and I have the ability to move in that direction. That I can live with the limitations in life. That's our challenge. Not to avoid the difficulties in life. Not to be free of any problems, but to learn how to live with them. Learn how to work with them. Maybe be content in spite of them. In spite of a sense of darkness or emptiness. In the chapter on emptiness and the chapter on happiness, Wayne Mueller mentions a sense of give me. He calls it the hungry ghost. That there's a hungry ghost within us that wants more, that wants to get more, that's trying to fill up an empty hole within us. Other spiritual writers have referred to a hole in the soul that we have, and our attempt to fill that hole, to fix that emptiness or to avoid it. That points to a larger thing that's present in all spiritualities and has many names. Could be called the valley of the shadow of death, the valley of deep darkness, the valley of fear, of loss, the valley of anger and rage. Some traditions say that it has to do with the being in the world, that this is a world of suffering and shame. This is a world that is separate from the divine, that the world is in a hole, that we're surrounded by sin, mistakes, imperfection. That there's There may be perfection somewhere, but there seems to be an imperfection everywhere. Emptiness or a void. Now, in Buddhism, emptiness has a positive quality. In Taoism and Confucianism, emptiness is the center of things, like the hub of a wheel, like the inside of a jar or the inside of a house. It's in emptiness that there's some richness, that things emerge out of emptiness. Astrophysicists and astronomers say that matter in the universe is still appearing, and it seems to come out of nowhere. It comes out of the darkness. It comes out of emptiness. Creation is still going on. Creation is not finished yet. It's not ripe yet. Some writers call it our unripeness, our immaturity, our incompletion, that whatever we might see as imperfection is something that is growing and evolving into perfection. Perfection is driving us, driving existence into being more, being more diverse, being more connected, being more caring, loving, being more an expression of oneness. We are the agents of that growth, of that expression. We're the ones that make it happen here on earth. There's a line in one of Paul's letters saying that all of creation is waiting for humanity, counting on humanity to get its act together so that all of the earth, all of creation can celebrate the presence and power of God. We need that presence and power. That's where we start. But we don't stop there. We pray, but then we need to put feet on our prayers. There are things that need to be changed, things that need to be done, words that need to be said. Things have been changing. Human consciousness has been growing. There's a reduction in violence in the world now. It's measurable. It's not very big, but it's happening. There's a ways to go. Systems need to be revised, and it's understandable if people are impatient and angry, but there will be changes. The Minneapolis Police Department is going to change the policy that allows a neck restraint. The officer that did that to George Floyd was not violating department policy. That policy is going to be changed. The racist leadership in that department and the irresponsible prosecutors there that don't keep police in line, that's going to change. It may not change everywhere. It may not change completely. It may not change in the hearts of every single person, but there is going to be a change. George Floyd's life, his sacrifice, his martyrdom made a difference. It's tragic that that happened. And good will come out of it. Tragic that that good has to come out of that deep darkness of this event. But it will make a difference. Some people have said, why is there so much anger right now? Why is there so much rioting right now just over his death? There have been so many other deaths that disclose the prejudice and racism. Why is this one special? Because the system was kneeling on his neck. It wasn't one man. It was the injustice of a system that was sick, corrupt. It wasn't just some police, it was the judicial system. It's not just the judicial system that's unfair. The economic system, haves and have-nots, that needs revision. The political system, not the two-party system, that's kind of healthy, but the political system that is run by the rich and appears to be democratic is flawed. It needs some tweaking. It does not need overturning, as some people say, but there is growth and learning that's required there. Many people in our country, in our culture, don't trust the way things are. Politically, economically, socially. And they're angry. Not happy. Happiness requires some trust. If you don't trust where you are, if you don't trust what's around you, it's hard to have a sense of well-being. For the last 30 years or so, now there has been some research done about the happiness quotient. What countries are happiest? It started with the little kingdom of Bhutan in the Himalayas. And it was, the happiest place in the world. They measured happiness, the gross national happiness instead of the gross national product. Well, now there's a lot of research going on about that. And they're rating different countries on a number of different factors. And the happiest countries, well, there's a threshold. If basic needs are met, then the happiness quotient is off the ground. And there are certain countries that are much happier than others. We're the richest country in the world, but we're not the happiest. Okay? The happiest countries of the world are the Scandinavian countries. They have their needs met. But the big thing about the Scandinavian countries is that people that live there have a sense of trust. They trust the government. They trust their neighbors. They trust the economic system. They trust the judicial system. We need to trust. We can learn to trust. We can learn to grow, heal, and prosper. We need to learn. We need to grow. We need to be happy. We need to be teachable. It's one of the phrases that's used in Buddhism, to be teachable. There's something from the tradition of Confucius, Kung Fu Tse. See everyone as your teacher. See everyone, everything, everywhere as your teacher. Here's what he said. When walking in the company of two men, I am bound to be able to learn from them. The good points of one, I copy. The bad points in the other, I correct in myself. We need to be honest, not only about the darkness, the shortcomings, the mistakes in society and in other people. We need to be honest about that within ourselves. We need to learn to live with our personal limitations and thrive through it, to feel good as we grow and learn. Feel good from a connection with the kingdom of heaven. Feel good from a connection with the presence of God that's within us and all around us. Seek first that kingdom, seek first that consciousness, and then things happen. Seek first that spiritual awareness, and then have an idea of what to think, what to say, who to be with, what to do. The kingdom of heaven. A lot of parables about the kingdom of heaven in Jesus' teachings, about it being surprising, about it being so valuable that you give things up, about breaking in. Kind of suggests that it's a state of consciousness that separates us from the world. Not really. It's a state of consciousness that exists in the world and makes a difference in the world. The kingdom of heaven seeks justice. This kingdom of heaven establishes peace and oneness. The kingdom of heaven is not only a state of consciousness within us, the kingdom of heaven is social, economic, political, judicial. We seek that. We go to God first, and then we step out and do what we need to do. So we're going to go to God first now in a time of meditation. We're going to do a meditation on bringing light into the darkness, a meditation on living with limitations, limitations in the life that we share and the limitations in our own lives. We're going to use a little song, classic Unity song called Quiet Waters. We'll just do one section of it. I'll say the words a few times, and Thomas is going to sing those words 3 times so that you can let your mind be embraced by those words and by the sense of quietness and light. Then I'll lead you in some suggestions. I'll suggest that you connect with the light within you, the light of God, the light of wisdom, the light of healing life, the light of connecting love. And then you take that light into the valley of deep darkness. You take that light into the hole in your soul that you may not want to look at or try to fill with stuff. You take that light into your questions, into your needs. You take that light into the limitations so that we can learn to live with it and thrive through it. And then we're going to spend some time there in that strange place. We're going to take the light of God into the disturbance, into the needs, and be there with the light, in the light, with the question, in the darkness, establishing a oneness of light and dark. And it'll be a time of silence. During that silence time, I invite you to push the pause button on the playback of this. And you can have as much time as you like in the silence. And then, when you finish with that, you can push play again to complete the meditation. So we start with quiet waters all around me. Quiet thoughts prepare the way. Quiet waters all around me. Quiet thoughts prepare the way. Say that to yourself. Quiet thoughts. Quiet waters all around me. Quiet thoughts prepare the way. Quiet light aglow within me, growing brighter as I pray. Quiet light aglow within me, growing brighter as I pray. Quiet light aglow within me, growing brighter as I pray.
What did I do? Quiet waters all around me, quiet thoughts prepare the way. Quiet light aglow within me, glowing brighter as I pray. Quiet waters all around me, quiet thoughts prepare the way. Quiet light aglow within me, growing brighter as I pray. Quiet waters all around me, quiet thoughts prepare the way. Quiet light aglow within me, growing brighter as I pray.
Turn now towards that light of God within you. Accept the light of God that surrounds you. Accept the light of life that moves through your body-mind system with power and purpose. Accept the light of love that connects you with others and connects you with the universe. Accept the light of wisdom that guides you, that protects you and empowers you. You are the light. You are in the light. Now, in that light, as that light, what's missing? Where is the emptiness? Where is the question? turn toward what might be darkness of fear or lack or anger or loss. Take the light into that place. Move into that place yourself as the light of God, bringing light. Take some time with it. There is a way to be present. There is a way to be with the difficulties, the discomfort of our lives. There is a way through that valley of shadow. Let light surround you and enfold you. Let the light, as you settle in to that shadow, be with your question. Be with your need. Be the light in the dark, in the silence. There is peace in a time of prayer. There is peace and presence in the garden of prayer. But we cannot stay in this garden. We cannot remain in the silence. We are here to be the light, to share the light, to awaken the light of God. We must do something. There's something that only we can do. We need to move on. What do you take from this time of meditation now? What would you like to remember? What would you think? What thoughts would you hold? What words might you say? With whom would you connect? What step might you take? What would you do? The light of God within you seeks expression. Your light seeks to shine. There is a name. There is a voice that has no name that is calling you to move on. There is an impulse within. There is the push of perfection within you, enrolling you to make a difference. A voice is calling you to move on.
There is a voice that has no name. It comes with evening now to stop and explain. I just keep moving, 'cause it helps to free the pain. The night has music that calls to me across the canyons of an endless sea. Don't seek the shadows of yesterday. Today won't hold me, and I must be on my way. Speak to me softly, but tell me no lies. I see tomorrow shining in your eyes. I have no time now to stop and explain. I'll just keep moving, 'cause it helps to free the pain.
It's time to move on. Time to get on with it, to do what is ours to do. And we do that by remaining connected to the presence and power of God. We give what we are, we give what we have in service of pure being. We bless our thoughts and our words and our steps, our gifts. We bless our giving of time. We bless the reaching out and bringing things into our lives. We bless it all in the multiplying power of divine love, in the healing power of perfect life, in the guiding energy of infinite love and wisdom. And we're blessed. Let's extend that blessing to others. We've seen a lot of faces of people who could use a blessing. So we extend a blessing to people in pain. We extend a blessing to people suffering from disease and injury. We extend a blessing to people that are angry. We extend a blessing to people that are in judgment. we extend a blessing to all of those qualities that may be present in ourselves. The blessing that we extend, we call the prayer for protection. So we connect with them in this affirmation of truth. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. All is truly well. All is well. Peace. Peace. Let there be peace on earth. May it begin with each one of us. Peace. Shanti. Salam. Shalom. Peace.